Hey, happy Monday, February 5th, 2024. Um, it's the middle of Aquarius season, and I want to talk today about this energy of Aquarius because we are in a very potent time for this archetype. For this part of the zodiac is being lit up by the sun. That's what makes it Aquarius season. The sun has been in Aquarius for about 2 weeks. So we've been having the light of the sun and the conscious awareness coming through this sign of the zodiac, Aquarius. And last week or a couple weeks ago, the planet Pluto, our farthest out planet, a planet of transformation, empowerment, of breakdown and breakthroughs, of deep evolution, also moved into Aquarius. And we've had a lot of shifts and changes uh, since then. We have now all planets moving direct in forward motion. And there is a palpable, to me, quickening of the energy. I feel like things are ramping up. I feel uh, inspired in new ways. I feel a sense of liberation and freedom and more of a desire to uh, move outward in my life, energetically and physically. Um, and I'm sitting here in a very dark house. We've had an intense rainstorm overnight, intense wind gusts. Um, my huge cedar trees and ponderosas are just swaying and dancing out there. And I feel very fortunate. I feel like it's a miracle, actually, that my power is still on, but it's really dark. Um, and this dramatic power of the wind, of the the weather pattern feels to me in a strange way like Pluto and Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, and Pluto is that super powerful impact of change, of deep change that can actually feel destructive or purging or like a really deep uh, exfoliation or peeling away. Um, so the weather is dramatic. The vibe today is dramatic. And today we have the moon in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign of inspiration and meaning and exploration and expansion. And so you might be feeling that combination of the sun in Aquarius, air, moon in Sagittarius, fire. These two signs are compatible and they feed one another. So there's a feeling to today of a dramatic movement, is what I'm feeling. At the same time, because of the storm and whatever, I'm staying home today. Roads are flooded, trees are down everywhere. Yeah, it's not a good day to be out and about where I am. But it is a good day to talk about this Aquarius energy. So a few hours ago, Mercury, our planet of communication, moved into the sign of Aquarius also, and Mercury is exactly conjunct or together with Pluto. Mercury Pluto aspects happen once a year, sometimes twice if there's retrograde around that time. But Mercury Pluto has our minds tapped into that deeper sense of potential, deeper investigation, deeper perception, okay, of wherever in the chart it's hitting that conjunction. So we're at 0 degrees Aquarius with Mercury and Pluto. This is like, I think we had sort of the first glimpse with the sun and Pluto together right as they entered Aquarius of, oh, we're aware of this change. And now with Mercury, it's a more mental or intellectual look at this energy, a look, a feel, as a perception. Mercury's perception, our intellectual mind level perception. And Aquarius as an air sign is a very much a mental energy. It's a relational energy of the collective. So Aquarius is like the big picture. How are things all interconnected and interdependent? Aquarius is visionary, expansive, a futuristic sign, a sign of creative, out of the box thinking, um, of new ways of conceptualizing a concept, a mental construct, or a paradigm. And so get curious. Here's an invitation from the universe with Mercury and Pluto to think more deeply. What does this new shift and change bring up for you? How do you feel that in your life? What do you notice in yourself about how you're viewing the larger world or your local community or your small group of friends? It can be like collective at any scale. So Aquarius is connected with friendship, with friend groups, with community, with the larger uh, global community, and like all of humanity. And so that can feel overwhelming. I know it does to me. Um, but it's long been my view that like all of humanity needs each of us individuals to be fully ourselves. And that our way of contributing to the collective, contributing to the world, is to be the like the best version of ourselves. And by that, I don't mean like some great self-improvement thing, but more, how can I be more truly myself? How can I align with what's true for me and shine like the sun out through my unique lens? How can I truly be myself and contribute to the collective? And that can be a lot of things. That can be just an energetic sense of being centered in yourself and knowing that your presence matters to the people around you, to the space around you, to your pets, to your plants, to your very local personal realm, just you being you, and how that presence and energy has an impact. And I'd love to invite you into feeling that for yourself. I know you have that experience of feeling like you're centered in yourself and you're at home in yourself and you're able to give off your energy, express yourself, be yourself. And I also know, because you're human too, I'm human too, and we have lots of experiences of not feeling so centered in ourselves or not feeling like we're being the truest version of ourselves, of feeling perhaps burdened by the different roles that we play, right? Oh, I feel like I have to be a certain way in my job, or a certain way with these friends, or a certain way with my family, or a certain way online. And those expectations or roles or um, yeah, characters we play, the masks we wear, are all part of this dance. And some of them are very important ways that we learn who we are by trying them on. And so if you're feeling like, wow, great idea to fully be myself and centered in me and radiating all out there, my uniqueness, great, but what in the world is that? Or, okay, but I have to put on, for me, there was like, my teacher role, which even though I haven't been a classroom teacher for many years, that role or character is so familiar to me. And I find myself when I do these videos for you or when I lead a group conversation, I feel myself like inhabiting that teacher persona. And the tricky part is that there's a natural part of me that is a teacher, that is a leader, that does show up in that way to share and engage and teach and be like that. But there's a subtle difference and a nuance of when is it that authentic being and when is it a role or a mask or a persona. And so with Aquarius energy, we're really invited to be freely and fully ourselves. The energy of liberation is connected with Aquarius. So Aquarius as an astrological sign is ruled by both the planet Saturn with the rings and the planet Uranus, which is the planet of awakening and freedom and the unexpected. And so with these planets as the ruling energy, there's a like going beyond the limits, like beyond the rings of Saturn. Like, you know where the limits are? And Aquarius says, and go beyond. Break free of the constricted roles and expectations and liberate yourself. Awaken to break free, Uranus, from those traditional steady roles that the Capricorn energy that comes right before Aquarius holds a lot of that tradition and social contract and steadiness. And Uranus says, we're building on that and we're breaking free from it. We're creating something new, a new paradigm, a new construct, a new, a liberated way of being in the collective. And Aquarius energy celebrates each of our uniqueness and the eccentricities and the weirdness of being an individual. Okay. And this is a concept that I've been really exploring this whole past year, really, of what is it to be weird? And I know that most of my life I have really resisted that, have really not wanted to be perceived as weird, because the weirdos are the outliers. The weirdos don't belong. The weirdos stand out in a not great way, was my perspective. And what I'm embracing more is my own weirdness. I am weird. I am unique. I am not in a traditional career, self-employed as an astrologer, as a coach. This is not mainstream role or job. A lot of other things in my life are off the beaten path, and yet they're true to who I am. And so Aquarius really is a celebration of all of the unique individuals, like everyone within the Aquarius energy, and we all have Aquarius energy within our charts. We all have this way of being part of, the human race. Is we all get to be our unique individual selves, and in fact, the collective asks us to be, needs us to be. Like if you are fully genuinely yourself and I'm fully genuinely myself, we can meet in a way and be in relationship or be a creative together in a way that if I were hiding behind my teacher mask and being responsible and in authority and towing the line and following the rules, and you were in whatever your mask might be, we wouldn't have access to each other's full self and full creativity and full brilliance, really. And so the Aquarius energy this month, every year, January about 20th to February 18th, 20th, of Aquarius season is the time for us to shine through the Aquarius lens too. The sun is shining through, it's bringing it more to our awareness. And for the next 20 years, planet Pluto will be moving through Aquarius. And I know many of you who follow astrology have seen and read and heard a lot of speculation and prediction around what that will be. I don't have a strong sense of what that will be. I believe it will be revealed. Pluto is a great revealer of what needs to change, of what is evolving. And so I think, though, that as Mercury and Pluto are together over the next couple of days, Mercury moves pretty fast, so it'll move away from Pluto. But we have that opportunity to like the radio station is dialing in Mercury, Pluto in Aquarius. Like, what's that frequency? What's that radio station? And so I invite you to get curious. What are you noticing? What does this seem like to you? As I seem, it can be thinking, through your mental function. It can be an intuitive, felt sense of perception. But what does this seem like to you? And how can you relate with it? How can you interact with it? How can you partner with this energy of there's a deep transformation and change afoot in how I perceive this whole matrix that we're in, this whole paradigm and construct of humanity on the planet now. And I think it is inviting us into considering what's my unique place in it? What's my unique, little tile on the disco ball. Okay. I keep but disco ball here in my living room, and I see it. I love it. And to me, it's Aquarian energy. It's like, oh, the bright sparkle of the collective is made of all the individual unique mirrors, mirroring each of the individuals, are needed, are necessary as part of that beautiful whole that sparkles and brings everything to light, which is different from just the sun. I'm just the sun. I don't want to minimize the sun. The sun shines constantly in one, bright, warm, hot expression. Okay. So Aquarius is that collective interconnection of all of the individuals. And this is a time of year that has us expanding. Okay. Capricorn season, the 1st of January, is a lot back to basics, get your foundations, get your house in order, take care of your body again, that kind of thing. And then this Aquarius season invites us to like think bigger and broader and more specifically, what's mine to contribute? What's my piece of this? What's my mirror piece in the puzzle? Okay. And in February, we have even more planets joining into Aquarius. So Mercury in today, and then we have our new moon on Friday, the 9th. So the moon will be joining Aquarius and meeting up with the sun at 20 degrees Aquarius on Friday. And this is the Lunar New Year, the beginning of the Chinese zodiac sign of the wood dragon, which I don't have anything really to offer about that, as I'm not that familiar with it. But I know that the Chinese cycle has 12 signs like the tropical zodiac, and then it has 5 elements that go with it. And so the wood dragon comes around only every 60 years. And so it's a return for me. I'll be 60 in August, and I'm a wood dragon by Chinese zodiac. So I'm curious to feel into that and to learn more about it as we approach this new moon and this Lunar New Year. So this is another starting point. Okay, all the cycles in astrology, newness, cycles, starting. So we're starting with Mercury in Aquarius. We're coming to the new moon in Aquarius. And the lunar cycle, the new moon, every month, I often talk about this, sun and moon together, conscious and emotional awareness, and setting intention around how do we want to be with this energy? How do we want to make this energy come alive in our lives? How do we want to work with, create with, manifest with, attend with, all those words of beginning, creating, thinking about on a monthly cycle? Okay. So the Aquarius energy, all these things I've been sharing about, how can you be uniquely yourself? How can you open your mind to more creative thinking and access more universal wisdom or insight or brilliance? And in this new moon chart, this new moon is in relationship with the planet Uranus. It's in that square, in that 90-degree confrontation energy. It's a very energizing, galvanizing aspect of planets in the cosmos when they're talking to each other 90 degrees across the zodiac. And Uranus energy is unpredictable, but it's awakening. It like shakes us free. The liberation and freedom energy adding to this new moon. Okay. And we will have Mercury and Pluto still close. We will have Mars approaching Pluto. Mars will meet up with Pluto on the 12th. And that Mars energy is our drive and motivation, our yang outward energy meeting Pluto. It's going to be any planet meeting Pluto is undergoing a change. So a change and a new cycle for Mercury is beginning yesterday or today, and Mars will come in on the 12th. And then on the 16th, planet Venus will move into Aquarius also and meet up with Pluto. So we've got over the next week, 2 weeks, a lot of planets coming into Aquarius. So today we have Sun, Mercury, Pluto. By Friday, we will also have the moon for the new moon, and then we'll have Mars and Venus joining the party. The moon will move on. But we have a big emphasis of the personal planets in Aquarius. The personal planets are Mercury, Venus, and Mars. One's close in to the sun and the earth. Okay, so these are the planets in us that make us really unique and individual. The outer planets move so slowly that like Pluto, it will be in Aquarius for 20 years. Pluto was, moves from like 15 to 20 years through a sign. And so people of the same age group have the same Pluto placement. But our Mercury, Mars, Venus is quick moving and changing, makes it very individual and personal. I notice myself talking really fast and feeling really amped up about this. And the Saturn influence as a ruling planet of Aquarius, it is about here's the construct, Saturn and the rings, here are the boundaries, here's the focus. But in Aquarius, it's like, okay, and what's beyond that? Or how can we expand our boundary? How can we be more inclusive, more fair, more concerned with the group than just ourselves? Okay. And so we look to where's Saturn in the zodiac right now? Saturn is in Pisces. And I know I've talked about Saturn and Pisces a bit, but to remind you, Pisces is the water sign that is the collective consciousness, the emotional, intuitive, and spiritual energy that connects us all. And Saturn's work in Pisces is around unconditional love and acceptance, around forgiveness and compassion and empathy. And I think we need all of those qualities more than ever, especially with all of this intense energy in Aquarius, the deep change and evolution that's being called for by Pluto. The Mercury through Aquarius is brilliant, is connective, but is very logical and objective and kind of disconnected from emotion, detached a bit. That objectivity is a gift, okay? But the Saturn in Pisces brings in the emotional, intuitive, spiritual nature. And so Saturn is in a relationship right now with Jupiter, expansion. I know where I was going. The liberation, the freedom, the expansion of Aquarius energy is whenever we have expansions, we have this quickening, this all planets direct, that expansive feeling, we're going to naturally experience a contraction, expansion and contraction. And so in the zodiac, Saturn is our planet of contraction and focus, and Jupiter's our planet of expansion, opportunity, possibility, growth. And Jupiter's sitting in Taurus, growing our self-worth, our embodiment, our mattering. So Jupiter and Uranus are together in Taurus. And so there's this beautiful, to me, beautiful feeling of natural expansion and contraction. And so as we move through the last few weeks, 2 weeks of Aquarius season, as we begin our lunar cycle in Aquarius, I want you to hold that idea that yes, there's huge potential for liberation, freedom, new insights around what's my uniqueness in this big picture, what's my contribution, and that quickening, what feels fast moving, and Mars in Aquarius will feel fast as well, and mental. There's also energy for the contraction, for the rest, for the coming back to center and quiet. Saturn and Pisces, Jupiter and Taurus are in earth and water, or the yin signs, and that helps us exhale and rest. Was in a conversation yesterday and talking about how resting is rebellious. We're talking about Aquarius as the maverick, the rebel, the map maker, the visionary, and all of that is very Aquarian. But there is also this way that the balance, rest, a feminine or intuitive approach is also sort of a rebellious or maverick or trailblazing energy in a society that tends to be more Aquarian, more intellect, more technology, more, high level thinking and expansion, really. And so Get curious. My invitation to you in the inquiries are like, how are you uniquely tapped into being yourself? What is the rebellious, maverick, trailblazing, map making Aquarian energy like for you? How are you expanding and taking new paths in your life? New paths by that new vision, that new map making. What's that like for you? And how will you show up fully yourself and with that permission, that beautiful permission that sometimes it looks like rebelling by saying no, by staying home and not venturing out in the storms, by taking the rest, by being quiet is sometimes a very powerful and rebellious or, you know, off the beaten track choice. So I want to also let you know that I've been creating with my friend Eiley, who's a Gestalt therapist, tarot reader, all around amazing person. She and I have been creating, starting to create a community. We're calling it Stars and Cards to start with, where we're discussing these things, where I'm sharing about the astrology, and where the group comes in for, uh, conversation, discussion, sharing around these archetypes and energies. We learn and work with the tarot, with visualization, with partner sharing, and group conversation, ways of exploring this and our own personal relationship to these energies in us, in each other, and in the cosmos. And we will be hosting our new moon conversation, or this Aquarius energy conversation, this Sunday, the 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I will figure out how to put the link to sign up for that call. This will be a Patreon community starting in March. For February, we invite you to join us. We're asking for a small donation. And if that's out of reach, just join us. But we're hoping to create this rich conversation and community where we can use the tools of astrology and tarot and personal inquiry, right, to deepen our sense of self, our sense of the universe, and our sense of how are we all growing and learning together as we move through life. So we've had 2 calls so far. It's been, for me, a really deep and rich conversation and exploration. And I'm excited to be stepping into the Aquarius energy and let myself be more truly me, more transparent, more real in the moment, and to be aware of when I sit in my comfort zone or kind of inhabit that teacher archetype or mask, um, or the astrologer mask of just talking technicalities of astrology. Um, and to be aware. I think that's really what we're after, is that self-awareness is self-empowerment. And also when we're self-aware and really being ourselves, we can genuinely connect to each other. And that's part of my vision, is that we can have a lot more connected, real, and intimate conversations and relationships in our lives. Would love for you to join us. Um, Talking to you is always way more fun than just talking to myself on the Zoom screen or through YouTube. Please, if this is valuable to you, share it. If it's valuable, like it, do all the social media things for me, if you would. And I'd love to hear from you. How are you experiencing this energy and this time in your life? What is coming forward for you? What parts of you feel really activated and energized and excited about moving forward? All right, have a great week. Bye.